Hi, I'm Pete, and this is a tutorial on the Son-Mum cube. The Son-Mum cube is a great addition to the mix-up family of puzzles. You can see in the background there, I brought out all the other mix-up cubes I have. The original ones were made by Wit Eden, and in recent years, LimCube has got into the game, and now we have a series of these from MF8, and that is fantastic. Now, for this tutorial, I'm going to show every step of the Scramble and Solve. I'm also going to cover the different parity cases you can get, the single flipped edge, the two swapped edges, or the two swapped corners. And down in the description, there'll be links to each section of the solve and the parity cases, so feel free to skip around. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Now, in order to get the most out of this, I'm going to assume that you have a basic familiarity with cube notation, the R and the R prime, the F and U and things like that, and that you can solve a 3x3 using any method, including the very beginner type method that I use. Other than that, I'm going to explain everything. All right, well, let's zoom in and get started. All right, well, let's get started then with the Scramble of the Son-Mum cube. Now, a Scramble, there is a bit of a order to it. We're going to start with the 3x3, the outer layers, edges, and corners. Just try and get a reasonable 3x3 Scramble. There we go. I don't know. Hopefully that should be good. And then the second part of this is scrambling the inner faces, and it gives us a good chance to look at the mix-up part of this. So it's a 45-degree turn, and you'll see that when we do the mix-up turns, it's about 2/3 of the face flips over, and then this one strip on the outside is what's left. Okay. And usually what I'll do when I'm doing the mix-up turns is once I do it, I'll also turn the faces just to kind of split things up a bit more. There we go. So yeah, so this is a kind of a fun part of it. And what you can maybe notice is that the centers can move around here. So it's a lot like an odd, even order Rubik's Cube, like a 4-layer or a 6-layer Rubik's Cube, where the faces can move around. It just sort of has that behavior. Yeah. So we'll just try and get everything kind of split up as well as I can. I like to spend some time on this because the mix-up part of it, once you start doing the actual turns that take the puzzle out of cubic, then it can become bandaged fairly quickly, and it's so you don't really get as much turning there. So I like to get this nicely scrambled as best I can. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to see my puzzle being a little loose. It makes the turns fairly smooth, but it's also a little bit catchy. So I don't know. It's one of those trade-offs. I might give it a bit of a tune-up after this, but yeah, I really like this puzzle. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's just try to get a few more of these broken up. So just trying to split up some of these inner pieces here. Yeah. Okay. Not too bad. Actually, what I'll do okay, that one looks good. And I'll just do one more this way. There we are. I put another one together. That's all right. It's fine. Okay, I think that's, we'll call that good for the scramble of the interfaces. And now the really fun kind of mix-up scramble. So we'll do the 45-degree turn, and then I can do a turn here. Now notice that the mix-up portion of this allows the edges and the centers to change position, right? That's pretty much what that feature is. So that's something that we're gonna be working with quite a bit when we restore this to Cubic. Now, one of the issues that you can get is bandaging here. So this piece moved. It's turned across. So if I wanted to be able to do more, if I don't want it bandaged, I could undo that, but of course then we lose the kind of the mix-up part of it. But you can still kind of keep it like that, and yeah, you can still get quite a decent scramble even with things kind of discombobulated like this. Okay, yeah, I think it's a good plan. Now, so what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to undo this, but I will just turn it. There we go. And then I can turn this back. There we are. Well, okay, so that kind of messed up some of the scramble, but it's all right. Okay, so now I'm having trouble turning this layer, and of course it's because we've got that, I think. Maybe not. Okay. Well, this is great. And yeah, I won't be able to turn this top layer because of that, but that's okay. And I won't be able to turn the E layer either. Well, that's kind of... Well, let's go this way. There we are. Actually... Yep. Okay, and then that's all messed up as well. Okay, I think I want to keep doing the mix-up scramble just a bit more here. Oops, yeah, all right. Okay, I can't, yeah, it's not, sort of have to, I'm not sure why that's, it shouldn't be so, yeah, I don't want to force it. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so this is a sort of thing I think we need to be careful about when you have these inner centers that are flipped around, these inner face pieces, and then you're trying to do a turn across it, and that's actually an issue for some of our algorithms as well. So you have to sometimes make sure that everything's aligned across so that we can do the. So now it'll be fine. Yep. Yeah, this produces a really cool looking puzzle, all messed up, very very cool looking. Okay, I just did a few extra turns here because it was looking a little too many same pieces tied together. Okay, look at that. So that's the scramble of the Son-Mum cube, and when we come back, we'll do the first step, which is restore to cubic. All right, here we go. The first step in the solve of the Son-Mum cube, and that is the restore to cubic. So in this step, all we're trying to do is get the edges and the centers in their proper places. And in fact, yeah, you'll see that the next step we do will actually undo some of that progress, but it's not so bad. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just going to start, really. So if I look at this layer here, I see I have these two edges and then that one. So if I just turn this, if I'm able to, if I were to turn that 90 degrees, I'm not sure if I'm able to because this is in the way, but let's give it a whirl here. Okay, maybe not. I was hoping to be able to use that without having to do too much. Actually, I think it might not be too bad. That's causing some problems though. All right, we'll try it. Okay, so now I've got that out of the way. I'm going to bring this back. And you know what? I think this might actually... It doesn't really matter. Like, I'm trying to find as many these edges together as possible. But it really, you can just make your own centers and edges, right? Okay, so now I've almost got that. I've got one that's missing here. So this is where we'll talk about sort of an important concept, which I'll use quite a bit. I need this face to be movable, and right now something's blocking it. So let's just take a little pause and take a look at what that is. Okay, I think it's just an alignment issue, because sometimes you get these things here, and it causes a problem. Okay, so what I want to do is swap this and this, and it doesn't really matter if it's that one. I just want a flat one in the middle there, and I want this edge out of the way. So what we can do, we can actually do a 3 cycle right here with this edge. So let me just bring this here. I'm gonna move this whole 45-degree turn. Okay, so this is our center. We want this to actually be this piece. So in order to do that, I'm going to do a 3 cycle with these 3 edges. If I put this one, if I start here with the 3 cycle, it'll go here, this one will go there, and then that one will go there, which is what we want. So I'm just going to do the 3 cycle, which is the down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, and I started over here because I wanted to cycle clockwise. And indeed, we have that center there, okay, and that's what we wanted. So I'm going to put that back, and look at that. I have a nice flat center here. We won't worry about this part, and that part we'll actually fix that in a moment, but it's starting to look cubic. And this is pretty much what I'm going to do for this whole, the rest of this. So here, I want that swapped with either that or that, so let's just do the whole thing again. So we do that. Now, this time I want this piece to go up there, so I need it to go counterclockwise. It means I got to start here. This will go there, that'll go there, that'll go there. So we'll go down. Okay. Now, the reason why that didn't work is that I have this strip right here is going up and down instead of across. So I'm just going to back up a little bit, because that's something we have to be careful about. And the danger of keeping your puzzle really loose, like mine, is that if you push that too hard, you can have a pop and jam these corners really, really badly. So just, if you're going to keep your puzzle really loose, or just in general, go really gently when you're turning this. So what I need to do then is I need to get these pieces, I need to get it horizontal. Okay, like that. Okay. And now I can do the algorithm, but I've lost one of my centers. That's okay. We still have that one. So let's just back up a little bit. I'm going to replace this with that. I'm going to do the 45-degree turn, and I can still do the same algorithm, except this time I want this to go there. So I have to start over here. That'll go there, that'll go there, that'll go there, and so on. So down, down, up, up. Look at that. We have our center, and then I'll move it back. Okay, so we're only worried about centers and edges right now, or concerned about, concerned. We're only looking at centers and edges. I don't care about these pieces, because we will fix it. Okay, wow, look at that. This is very cool. So, of course, you don't have to take it the way it's given to you. If I want this over here, I can perfectly fine to do it that way. And now I can use this. So I think we'll do that. I'm going to take this center and put it up there. I'm also not looking at color right now, because that'll be another step. So I want this to go up there, so I'm going to start here. So go down, down, up, up, and that's done. And then we'll undo that. Oh, look at that. Okay, almost done here. So I'm just going to flip it around. Now, I think you may notice that I like to do it this way, where the piece I'm fixing is up here. And that is, it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. I just like to do it this way. So that's, I just always set it up so that this is the part I'm working on. Now, I don't know if this is going to cause us, this will cause us problems. So, but we can fix that, because this piece is attached to this face, not this edge. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this away. We're going to keep that. And then I'm going to turn this down. Okay. So this is fine here. We can do the algorithms, and this one's across. There's going to be no problems there. Now, if I wanted to, I could turn this down, right? And then just work on it the way I've been doing it. Or I can just leave it up there. Doesn't really matter. Okay, if I want to leave it up there, I still need to cycle it here. And what I'll do is I'll start here. That'll go down. That'll go over there. And that'll go there. So we're going to go down, down, up, up. Just like that. Okay, and then I'll undo that. And look at that. We're almost back to cubic. Okay. So the next step, and this is a separate step, is to flatten these inner edges. You see, some of them are nice and flat, and some of them are sticking up. And all we have to do is flatten those inner edges. Now, there was a time when I had an algorithm that was as clean, and it didn't you just did the algorithm and then two edges got flattened. And for some reason it stopped working. I don't know if I wrote it down wrong or something, but it was fairly complicated. So what I've done is I've come up with another algorithm that works great. It just has a complication, but the complication is very simple. So the algorithm I came up with, you have one unflattened edge on the front right here. And then the other one is on the upper right. And what it does is it flattens both of those. Okay, so we do S plus, and then we'll do R prime, which is counterclockwise R, and then E plus, which is that way. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to do R2, so 180 degree turn, VR. E minus, go back. R. And then S minus. So just undo. Okay, let's see what happened here. Lots and lots of stuff. So the good news is we don't have that sticking up anymore. All right, that's flattened. And that one's flattened. But look at what's happened. We now have a center and an edge kind of messed up a little bit. But actually, that's not difficult at all to fix, and I'll show you how to do that. But first, I have to. This is in the wrong orientation now for what we're going to do. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Okay. So what I want to do then is just make that one an edge and make that one a center. So I can move the E layer. And now I can do a 3 cycle starting here. That'll go there, that'll go there, and that'll go there. Okay, so down, down, up, up. Okay, and then we bring it back. So you see, we had that little side effect of the edge flattener, but it's not such a big deal. And the fact is that you don't have to do a lot of them on this puzzle. Maybe a couple of them. Usually, well, maybe I have a few. Okay, so we've got that. We got that. So now I'm going to turn this down. I probably shouldn't. I should have moved everything to the front there, but anyway, it's fine. So we have this. We have this. We're going to do the edge flattener again, and let's just see if I can get through this straight this time. So the algorithm is it's S plus. R prime. Whoa. All right. E plus. There we go. R2. Yeah. So it was like that. I would normally do it. There you go. R2. Okay. Which now would undo everything. So E minus R and then S minus. Okay. So flatten our two edges. And now we have that one little thing to do. And now this, this is kind of inconvenient here. So I had to put that. There we go. And then I can just recycle this down. Down, down, up, up. Undo that. And look at that. Things are looking good. So if I want to just leave everything here, if I don't want to reorient the puzzle, I can just put this up here and put that there, and I think, yeah, that's everything. Okay, so last two of these, and so we're gonna do S plus, R prime, E plus, R2, E minus, R, and then S minus. Okay, so flatten our two inner edges, and now we have this little side effect. Nothing else to worry about, so I can just immediately go into this fix and do the down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. Ooh. Oh, look at that. So the Son-Mum cube is now restored to cubic. All right, we're back. And so far we've restored the puzzle to cubic and flattened all the inner edges. And the next step is to reestablish the center. So even though this looks like a 3-layer puzzle or an odd layer puzzle because of the mix-up features, the centers can get, they have to be positioned or placed. So I always use the white as kind of the anchor. So white, yellow is going to be opposite. So now to move this over here, I just do a 45-degree turn and bring it back. So now we have yellow opposite white. And from my working with even layered cubes and solving them, I've just learned the color scheme. So yellow, from the yellow, it's blue, orange. So I'll have to fix that. There we go. So blue, orange, and then green and red. So we flip those ones. Okay, so now they're established. Blue, orange, green, and red. Okay, yellow and white. So I've reestablished those faces, but what that means is now every time I do a mix-up turn on here, I have to remember to put it back, or else I'm going to mix up my centers again. And believe me, it's going to, if you get them, I mean, it's not a hard thing to fix, I guess, but yeah, it's something you'd rather avoid at this point. So then the next step is fixing the inner faces. And the method I use is to make little strips in the middle. So you have the center and you attach the two wide edges to it. Then I make two strips on other faces and attach them. Okay, so that's the method I'm going to use here. So there's a white. So the way you attach something on this puzzle is you put it on the outside, and then the thing you want to attach, you do the 45-degree turn. There we go. And now you'll notice that they're now together, but if we just undid the turn, they'd separate again. So we do a 180-degree turn, and now if I do a mix-up turn, the two pieces are firmly attached. There we go. Okay, so that's the method I use. And now we have another strip here, so that's the strip I'm going to get. Now, in order to attach this over here, I'm going to leave this white strip here. Okay, and I'm going to bring this over and get the other strip. So see, I've just brought the white strip and then the other one's here. So the big white piece, the narrow one's there. So now these two are together. And in order to bring these back, I'm going to flip it around. And now I do another 45-degree turn. I have my strip done. And if I look at this, and we're still opposite yellow, so we've kept our color scheme. So that's what I'm going to do for every face. I'm going to start with the big strip in the middle. Now I'm going to go off and I'm going to make the edge strips. So this is a great one right here because it's adjacent. So I have the middle already and I have these two. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave one of them here and I'm going to take these other two over. Okay, so now they're over. Now I have to remember I've flipped these, but that's okay because I'm gonna bring it back. Now to kind of figure out what happens here, it's a good idea to take a moment to see what happens. If this white strip is in the bottom here, when I flip it back, it's going to end up over here and it'll attach to that white. And that's the way you do it. Whatever's here gets flipped upside down when you bring it over. So there you go. So now I've made two of them. Okay. And then the next step is to attach these to this one. Well, I can't do that because if I do another 45-degree turn, I'll only get these two and then that'll want to be left. So if I flip this face, now if I do a mix-up turn, these two will go over. But remember, they flip over, right? So they'll flip over to here. So that's actually what we want. So this is good to have that up there because these two will be attached and we'll be done. Okay, there we go. Now, here's a question. How many times did I flip this? I think it's possible. Let's see. Yeah, I think I have... All right. Yeah, I think I've gotten these. I think I've got one more. All right, let me try flipping this and see if I'm right. Okay, so what I did there was I moved the center back, but I left the strip that I just made. So am I right? B-O-G-R. Yeah. Okay. So it was I had just hadn't flipped it back. I had an odd number of flips. So now we've got this, and we'll use the same technique to attach this to the white. So I moved it to the outside. I'm going to flip it over. You notice they're attached. Now I can flip it around, and I can bring it back. Okay. Now, one of the things I do when I'm assembling these is I don't worry about other pieces that are already assembled because it's too much effort. You don't have a lot of room on this puzzle to hold things together. And to me, it's just as easy to deal with each face at a time. If you want to try and make strips and kind of keep them that'd be okay. So I have this here, and it's nice. There's two of them together. So we turn it this way, and that's the only position I can use to attach because any other position and I'll cut it. So, which means that this piece to attach it has to be up here because it flips, right? Okay, so let's flip that, and you'll see now it's done. It's a full strip, but I have to remember to bring this back. So what I did was I just hid the strip that I made out of the way and just brought the rest of it over. Okay. So now to get this, I'm going to put this to the outside. This is good here because this strip will stay behind and then this will go. Okay, so then these two came over, but I only want the white, so I'm going to flip that around and bring it right back. Quite the little dance it does. But there we go. That's the white face already done. Okay. So that's the technique, and that's all going to work really great until we get to the last two faces. Okay, so let's just go. So now I'm just going to make sure that my color scheme is still good. B-O-G-R, good. And so I just like to start with blue. It doesn't really matter, but I just always do it in order. so here we are. I've got the blue. There's one strip already. So what I'm doing is I'm making that center strip. And I've got two to choose from. Doesn't matter which one I pick. I'm going to leave one there. I'm going to bring the blue over to, I'll pick up the other piece, flip it around, and then bring it back. So that's pretty quick, right? Okay, so now I'll look around and I will find some strips here. I've got everything I need to make one. So this one's already up here, so I can just go ahead and put that there. The nice thing with doing it that way is that it gets this away from that. So we're going to bring it over and attach these two pieces. And then when I bring it back, I can immediately attach that one. Okay. So now we have that. Now in order to bring this over intact, I have to flip it around so it's to the inside, the two pieces. And which means this is in the top, that's in the bottom. This one's properly positioned. And look at that. Now they're together as a strip, and I had an even number of flips back and forth. I'm pretty sure, anyway. Okay, so this one, I just want to attach the blue to it. Flip it over, and then I'll flip this right around and immediately go right back. Look at that. Fast. So now I've got two of those done. I will go find the other part of it. This is kind of a little awkward, but that's okay. So I'm just going to move this out of the way here. Now I got to remember that's one. Oops, that's one flip. I want to make sure that we don't get an odd number of it. So now I'll attach that. So that's two flips, which is great. And then I need to move this over so it's closer to the blue over here. So I'll do that now. But that's three flips, isn't it? So just before I forget, I'm just going to go ahead and do one more flip with this protected. And that was four flips. So the color scheme should still be okay. So now I'm going to attach this to this part. And what I'll do is I'll flip this over. We're going to keep that, and we're going to move these two over. This one has to go to the outside as well. And now we'll just flip it over. I've attached my two and flip it around and bring it back. And because that was an even number of turns, we don't have to worry about it. So now the blue's done. Okay. So next up will be the orange. And gonna, okay, so I've got a single one right here. I've got that, and actually doesn't really matter, but there we go. Flipped over, and I'll flip this around, and I'll flip it back. See, this is the thing. This is one of those puzzles where the doing is quite a bit simpler, I think, than the explaining. So we have the strip there, and what I'm going to do, I see I have this already, and what I'll do is I'll make a strip, and then in the process of attaching that, we'll get that moved to another face, because I have everything I need right here. Yeah, or actually right here, I could probably, you know what, just to, I'm going to attach this just so that I get that piece from the opposite side of the puzzle. So this is where we need to be in order to attach. And then that one has to be opposite, right? So because this flips over. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. Now I have a whole strip, and I can turn this and bring it back. But while I'm doing that, actually, no, that's all right. I'm just going to bring the whole thing back. There we go. Okay, I just thought I would try to move that, but actually it's already where I need it to be. So now that one, now how am I going to do this? So here's how this works. I'm going to bring it this way so that we end up leaving that behind. But this one has to be over here, right, in order to attach. Okay, so there we go. So now this is attached. I'm going to turn this around, and yeah, this, unfortunately, it's not good for it to be, there's no real good place for it to be there, so I'm just going to leave it for now. It doesn't really matter. We won't save anything. So anyway, now we have two strips done. Okay. I have most of this, but I have to separate these pieces in order to join them together. So I'll just go ahead and flip this one over. Okay, there we go. Now that was one flip. And just so I don't forget, I'm gonna, because it was just a positioning move, I'm gonna do another one. So now we've done that twice, so we haven't ruined our, or haven't changed our faces locations. Okay, so that's the way I keep track of it. If I'm assembling something, I go over and come back. That's 2. If I'm just moving something, I go over and then I have to move it out of the way and then undo the turn. It just helps me to remember, and I don't end up getting all the faces done and then having the faces wrong. Okay, so this will attach to that. That's perfect. That's what we want. So there we go. And I still, because I've only done one, I have to undo it. It just becomes second nature. Okay, ready to set up our last orange. So the one we're keeping on the outside. Okay, and then flip it back and bring it back, and look at that. We have our orange now. Okay, white, blue, orange. All right, green. So let's see. So that looks pretty good. Let's see. Okay, well, I'll just, that's a full strip, and it's, remember what I was saying before, it would be nice to save that, and maybe I could save a little bit of trouble, but I just find it more trouble than it's worth. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach this to this strip. And then bring it back. There we go. Okay, nicely done. Now we do have a bit of complication here because these ones, I could have done better with that. But that's okay. Actually, I think I might be able to do something with this. Yeah, because this one's up here, and so it'll attach. Oh, no, that's not good. Okay, that's not gonna work. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and use this, and I'll just pick up that one. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. So this I'm gonna attach over here. Okay. There we are. Okay, so now this, and so what's going to happen is I'm going to attach this, and in the process we'll end up getting one of those corners kind of sorted out. Now if I wanted to here, I could actually yeah, I could put these so that it'll come back. There you go. Okay. So I got the strip made, and I ended up with all of the green pieces away from here. That's what I cared about. But I'm still going to have to move one of these over here just to be able to do it. Okay, and because it was a repositioning, I put it out of harm's way, and I flipped it one more time so that now these faces are still correct. And now we're all set to join the green. Okay, well, this is exciting. We're just about done this part. Oops. Okay, so the one we want on the outside, and I'm gonna flip it. There we go. Flip it back, and okay, and now we've got the green. So white, blue, orange, green. And what's left are the red and yellow, and you sort of may feel like a painter painting yourself into a corner at this point, but this is actually kind of a fun step. And so that'll be the next thing we do, which is the last 2 faces. All right, we're back with the last 2 faces to solve. Now, I'm going to be doing a little bit of hand waving here because what I do is I have a strategy, not an algorithm. I wish I could just say, yeah, here's an algorithm like you do on, say, a 4x4 cube or something larger. My strategy is to make big blobs of solid, to do turns that make it as solid as possible until I recognize a pattern that will get me to the end game. And the end game is 2/3 of it one color and 1/3 of it the other color, and then there's one more turn. So in this case, let's say that I want to, I can see that, say, these pieces, it would be good to join these two up here, and that would actually get me a fairly big blob of color. Okay, there we go. Okay, not too bad. We're still missing a little bit there, so I think I can do a little better than that. All right, let's try this. So what about something like that? So then these ones will join up to there. I think that would be good. So I'm just keeping turning, and I don't really have to worry now about mixing these up, because once I get it finished, then I can check where the faces are. So that's actually looking pretty good now. Let's say that I try this. So this strip here, and if I do that, I'll actually turn that into a 3 strip, and I'll have a fairly nice big blob of color over there. All right, look at that. And so I got one of them, and I got this. All right, let's see what we're gonna do here. So I think that's okay, because if I just do this and move it over, we're gonna take this one, and that's actually good. If we have one dot on each side, there you go, look at that. Okay, so if we have one dot on each side, I think this might be it. Might be, yeah, okay. And then turn that, so we've got this one here, and then that one there, and I'm pretty sure that that gives us the strips we're looking for. Look at that. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. So one along here, and then one down here. Okay. So if I had a strategy, I might call it turning, keep turning until you see something you recognize. Really, not much more complicated than that. Okay, there we go. And now, if that's opposite white, yes it is. So what we have is blue, orange, green, and red, yellow, and white. So that is the end of the faces, reduction of the faces to a 3x3. All right, we're back. And now there was a time with mix-up cubes when I did a test solve after I fixed the faces, a test solve of the 3x3 just to see if we had any parities. I didn't do that this time, and I'm sort of not doing it on the Son-Mum cube because the parity fixes, if you do them right, don't really cause any problems. It doesn't hurt anything. The flipped edge one doesn't affect anything. You solve it up to the last layer. If you have the parity, you do the fix, and then you continue working on the last layer. The other one where you have the 2 flipped edges or the 2 swapped corners, that one does mess up some of the edges, but it's not too bad, right? It doesn't take long to fix it. So this next step then is solving the 3x3. Okay, so we'll just sort of assume that we're going to one way or the other, we'll solve the 3x3. May have to do some parity fixes. Okay, and now you'll get to see the way I solve a 3x3, which is pretty, it's a pretty basic way, because this is not speed cubing. I'm not a speed cuber. So I do the bottom plus sign, I'll put in my corners. Like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not a rush. We're not rushing anywhere. Yeah. Okay, and then okay, I sort of feel that I put in, this is like the, oh yeah, okay, I have put in 4 corners. Nice. Okay, so we got the bottom layer. Now I'll put in the edges here. Okay. Okay. Green and orange. Yeah, so I just use a pretty basic layer by layer technique. You can use whatever method you want. Yeah, I just, the speed cubing, there's too much memorization for me, so I just rather do it this way. Still gets the job done. Okay, and that. Okay, so that was the first 2 layers. Now we get to see if we have a parity, and in fact we do. If you look at the edges here, you see that we have 1 flipped and 2, 3 not flipped, which is a parity case. It's 1 flipped edge, right? Because you can only flip even numbers of edges. Well, let's get them, let's orient them as much as possible. Okay. And then, and there we are. So you see we have the 1 flipped edge. Okay, so this is a pretty common case on this puzzle. It seems, I would say it happens at least half the time, maybe even more than half the time. Okay, so it's just 3 of the edges are good and 1 of them is flipped. Okay, so the fix for that is exactly the same as a fix for the mix-up cube, the original mix-up or the mix-up plus. So we're using the S layer here, which is this inner layer. We've done that before. And the extended notation where a minus and a plus are 45 degrees turns. So the parity fix is S minus. So there you go. It's a 45 degree counterclockwise turn of the S layer. S follows F, so counterclockwise. Okay. And now we're going to do 2 moves, and we're going to do those 4 times, and it's R, E. Now, be careful here because the R and the E are both 90 degree turns. Okay, so it's R, and then E, which is a 90 degree turn. There you go, E layer. Okay, and that's once, and then we'll do it 3 more times. R, E, that's twice. R, E, that's 3 times. R, E, that's 4 times. Okay, now we do a U prime, which is a counterclockwise turn of the U layer. And now we undo what we did with the E and the R. So we start with E's, and we're going to go E prime, which is a 90 degree turn of the E layer, and then R. So, or sorry, R prime. So E prime. Okay, R prime, that's once. E prime, R prime twice. E prime. Whoa, R prime, that's 3 times. E prime, R prime, that was 4 times. Great. And now we do a U, 90 degree turn of the U, and then S plus. And look at that. And that is fantastic. All of our edges are fixed. And everything else, nothing else. Now, what this actually does, because I kind of looked at this algorithm, is it actually, it flips 1 edge. It also flips a lot of these little strips. Right? It flips some of these little strips. So basically, that's how it sort of gets around it. You could probably work out your own algorithm if you really wanted to. Okay, so the next thing to do is to continue. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I think we're okay, but we still may have that other parity. Sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, I'm just going to do edge placement because we got the edges oriented. So 1 good one, 3 bad ones, and I do SUNY. And because I only know 1 SUNY, I do it either once or twice, depending on whether it needs clockwise or counterclockwise. R prime, R. Okay, so, and so I needed it again. So there's an inverse, there's a the opposite algorithm, but I just don't want to memorize it. I just do it again. R prime U R U2 R prime. I'll put that in the down in the links. I'll put it on the screen as well, or it should be on the screen right now. Just the Suni, or Soon as some people call it. Okay, so now we have our edges good. I'm gonna find a good corner. I don't have a good corner, so let's just go ahead and 3-cycle the corners. Again, I only do one corner algorithm because that's all I need. Okay, so there's one good corner, and so now I'm going to 3-cycle these, and I either have to recycle them once or twice. Okay, so the first time didn't work, so I'm going to 3-cycle them again. Again, it's not speed cubing. I don't need to do it. Now this one's good, that one's good, that one's good, and that one's good. Okay, so if we had the other parity case, this is where you would see it. Okay, and what it shows up as, depending on how you solve the puzzle. Because I solve the puzzle layer by layer, I only ever see it as swapped corners. That's all I ever see it. If you solve the puzzle in a different way, you could see it as swapped edges, which is exactly the same thing. Swapped edges, not flipped edge. Okay, so at this point, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and show you the B-roll footage of me solving the swapped corners or swapped edges parity case. Here we are with the other parity that you can get on the Son-Mum cube, which is either 2 swapped corners, as we see here, or it can show up as 2 swapped edges. Now, what you see for this parity case really depends on how you solve the puzzle. Because I use a layer by layer approach for solving the 3x3, I always see it as 2 swapped corners. But if I were to try and solve these 2 swapped corners, I would end up with 2 swapped edges, and you know, it just the same, exactly the same parity. Okay, so you either have 2 swapped edges or 2 swapped corners. Either way, here's how you solve it. So I don't think it really matters where you put the 2 swapped corners. So I'll just leave them on the right here. So we start out with a sequence, and we do that sequence 9 times. It's a little daunting. It's actually not too bad. So we're going to be moving the S layer, and remember that S goes in the same direction as F. So this is clockwise, and this is counterclockwise for F, and likewise on the S layer. We're also going to be moving the E layer, which follows in the same direction as the D layer. So that's clockwise and that's counterclockwise. So here's the sequence, and remember we're going to do this 9 times. So it's R, S minus, which is a 45-degree counterclockwise turn of the S layer, U2, and now this is a little tricky here. There we go, U2. So that's a 180-degree turn of the U layer. S plus, so 45 degrees clockwise of the S layer. R prime, which is counterclockwise R. And then E minus, which is a 45-degree counterclockwise turn of the E layer. There we go. That was the whole thing. So we're going to repeat that 8 more times for a total of 9. So let's try it. R, S prime, or sorry, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, and then E minus. There we go. So that was 2, and we'll just do the same thing. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, A minus. Okay, so that was 3. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, E minus. That was 4. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, E minus. So that was 5. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, E minus. That was 6. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, E minus. That was 7. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, E minus. So that was 8. And one more. R, S minus, U2, S plus, R prime, E minus. And that was 9 times. The puzzle's back to cubic, and it looks a little rough, but it's actually not too bad. Okay, and let's just solve the 3x3 and see what we got. Okay. Got those two. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and actually I probably should have put the so we've got that corner in, and we'll put this corner back, and it'll also pop that edge out. I probably should have done that. So yes, so this does kind of leave the puzzle a little bit mangled, but it's not too bad. It doesn't affect the inner part of it, which is really the bulk of the solve. So really just have to do some solving of the inner, of the 3x3. Okay, put this all back. There we go. Okay, put that back, and I gotta flip that around, which is, oh boy. Ooh, that'll wake you up. Okay. All right, so now we're back. So that wasn't too bad, and just solve this. Yeah, I should probably do the 2-layer version of that. Okay, and we shouldn't have any other parities. I've never seen this cause the flipped edge parity doing that fix, but it mangles things a little bit. Okay, so now we have our edges. That's good, and presumably, okay, so there's a good one, and now presumably we'll get our corners all sorted back out here. Okay. So yeah, and now we can see that the corners are all correct. I'll just go ahead and orient them just to show you what. Kind of tedious because they're all bad, but that's all right. I mean, they're all oriented. Wow. Okay, there we go. We're getting there. Look at that. Okay, so that solved the 2 swapped corners or the 2 swapped edges parity case, and as you can see, the puzzle is solved. All right, well, now that we've seen how to solve the swapped corner or swapped edge parity, we'll finish this. Now, it is possible to have both of those parities on the same scramble. In fact, the B-roll that you saw, that was a scramble that had both the flipped edge and the swap the corners Parity, but I only needed to use the one part because this solve had our flipped edge as well. Okay, well, this is just the standard 3 by 3 corner orientation, and we'll get that knocked out pretty fast. So this is another reason why I keep my puzzle fairly loose, because it does make the 3 by 3 part go fairly quick. All right, well, that's it for the solve of the Son-Mum cube. I really enjoy this puzzle. I think it's in a sweet spot of a puzzle. It doesn't take too long to solve. It doesn't have too complicated algorithms, but it does have some. And there, you know, those parity fixes are interesting to fix. You know, you fraught with a little bit of peril, not too much. But if you get your 45-degree turns and your 90-degree turns mixed up, or if you get your clockwise and counterclockwise mixed up, it can cause all sorts of complications. So but it's easy to fix anyway, even when something does go wrong. So yeah, I really enjoy this puzzle. I don't have any of the other variants of it. As I said, I just because the last few years I just haven't been getting too many puzzles, but I would like them at least get the 4-layer version of it, or the one that has the 4 inside. But do let me know down in the comments if you think I should get the other variant of this with the extra cuts, or if there are any other mix-up cubes that I should take a look at, because I really do like them. I have quite a big collection of mix-up cubes. And as always, any other comments, questions, or suggestions, I really do welcome your feedback. So let me know what you think down in the comments. And well, that's it for this video. And until next time, thanks for watching.